Aloha, my kako. This is Oracle of the Golden Spiral. Today we're going to be doing a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. My messages are timeless. They have no date. I trust that when the message finds you, that's when it's yours. One extra. Let's do Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. Okay. Cancer, you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Fool, the Five of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, the Two of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Cancer, it feels like either recently or in your life, you have found a good grounded space that's just yours. You're able to, you've spent some time, just with yourself and are comfortable in those realms. And if not, you are starting to, or have recently begun to feel like you can handle that. Sometimes it's hard for us to spend time with ourselves when we're so used to being with other people, but it seems like you are being able to deal with that. It's not like dealing with it. It's like that you are approaching it in a manner so that you are comfortable with that. You really want that stability for yourself, and it's almost as if you're seeking it. There is change on the horizon, I will say that. There's something that is, it's like you're up for the challenge. There's some change that's coming in, and that is primarily your focus right now. It may be something that you, whatever this change is, it may be something that you previously have not encountered in this format before. It might not be, completely, the feeling I'm getting is that it's not completely different than anything that you've experienced before, but at this time it's like you're learning more about whatever changes you are going through, and you are leery of, but inspired by them. They can be a little bit, it's almost as if you don't know where it's all heading. And so there may be a little bit of, feelings of being uncomfortable or unsure, or just not, it's like you're ready to take them on, but you're just not sure if it's for your greatest good. But I think that, coming from a space where so much hadn't changed for a while, where or we were reluctant to take on those changes, I think that you're approaching it in a brand new way. And as you get closer, as you kind of learn a little bit more about yourself, a little bit more about what it is that you desire, as you move through those stages of this, you're going to feel much more comfortable in the fact that, you're approaching a brand new horizon, something, it's a crossroads for you. And the closer, the more you engage the less you engage in the space, the more confusion you'll have. But the more you engage in it, the more you're going to really trust yourself and know that, you know, at this crossroads, whatever decision you make is going to be the best. The universe is asking for a moment of reassessment. We may be right. The Five of Wands is an agent of chaos. It's and essentially that's the change that I'm speaking about. But it's almost as if, like, if we do the 5 minus 2, that would equal the Three of Wands, and then the Three of Wands, we're asked to really, like, you know your ships are coming in, but you're asked to prepare for those moments. And so the universe is kind of asking you to take a reassessment of everything that's been going on. And I think you're open to do that because there is a little bit of, right, we're trying to hold on to something, and then, but yet the change is coming. And so that can lead to a little bit of confusion or like a dreamy nature about it. I guess where I'm going in my head is that, you know, the Seven of Cups, it can lead to confusion or disillusionment, but like that's in its more lower vibration. But in a higher vibration, it's that same energy. It's just, you know, with like she's looking up, like that outlook. And it can be a combination of both, you know, like we're seeing what the possibilities could be, what options we have, but at the same time, there's like a little bit of uneasiness about it. And I think that the universe is asking you, I can feel all those energies. And so it's almost like I have to take a look at what's going on and trust myself in my assessment of, you know, maybe the reticence to move forward was that you didn't necessarily, it was okay here, right? Like maybe it was great. Maybe it wasn't great, but maybe it was comfortable in the sense that we did not necessarily want to take the gamble. But the change is upon us. And so as we move into this space, all of those feelings can be, you know, if we really take a look at it, if we take a look at what, you know, what we've been growing and what we've been developing over the time, we can always have a sense when we're in this energy that what we had was good. So, but taking an honest and hard look at that and really deciding whether it's bearing the fruits that we want it to bear. Is it the key that we need to get to where we need to reach? And I think that what you'll find if we're having those honest conversations with ourselves is that it's not, right? That that it isn't, but that there are all these other possibilities and ideas of where we can go. And it's really up to us to create that situation for ourselves as we hit that fork in the road, right? Let's get one more on the Seven of Pentacles. I'd like to go into that a little bit further. I get a clarifier for the Seven of Pentacles for Cancer, please. Seven of Pentacles for Cancer, please. Right, so what are our new beliefs? What are our new beliefs? What is true? What are the guiding principles that we have? And clearly we're learning, right? This is like, I mean, if you're in a instance, I keep getting the word simulation with this bear because I'm hoping that it's a simulation, but it's like when we go and we fight the bear, we learn so much in that, right? We already have some knowledge which goes ahead and tells us that we have 5 sticks, but going ahead and creating this barrier for ourselves standing in the bear trap to be able to best utilize these ones in this scenario. You know, it's like we're learning as we move, right? And so our knowledge prior to this bear attacking and then after this bear attacking is going to be quite different. And incorporating that information into this reassessment that we're doing really changes, like, if we're going to be literal, like how we slay the bear. But it's further than that. It's like, how does that incorporate into our general understanding and views of the world, right? In the Hierophant too, there's also an element of learning and tiers of learning, and so, and you know, but it's about it kind of has like a very how do I explain this feeling? Like the hermit, but like that applied wisdom, right? In this scenario, bringing us to like the hermit. So being able to, I mean the Hierophant. So it's kind of like bringing it to a stage where it's that application in our world and how we decide to, and I'm not talking about judgment like judging people or judging situations or deeming whether something's good or bad, but like in our internal judgment, which, incorporates our general sense of what applies to us, what doesn't, how, and our filter that we put onto the world. It's asking us to reassess that. I'm getting a weird example, but I'm going to share it, and this may or may not, probably not, but like it's going to apply to someone, which is why it's coming up. So, for example, perhaps you know, and it's coming up, I think, because the Hierophant and the Nine of Pentacles and the Fool is here, but it's like, and this new journey, right, where there's so much ahead of you, which looks welcoming and yet unknown, like this kind of cold but open space that you're walking into. And so the example that I would have is that, let's say that you always believed that people had to get married and have a family, and now that you have children, it can't be any other way, and you have to stay in this marriage that like really doesn't work for you any longer, because we're determined to create that social construct that things are that that has always been ingrained in us. But if we it's a challenge to our belief system, and in that, perhaps you have made a decision and the person that you're with is not maybe, okay, I'm going to use this example. Maybe they're a great parent, but they're not a great partner, right? And so it's really about how does that, we're saying kids are involved in this scenario that I'm presenting, but it's like, how can you say that? I mean, maybe you can still care about that person and love that person, but that they're not a great partner to be with. So, and neither of you will accomplish the things that you want to accomplish if you're constantly fighting against each other. But if you are able to go ahead and to understand that you care about this person, and you can move on and allow them to move on, but still co-parent effectively, then while it's not what you initially set out to create, isn't it that much better of a space for each individual to be in, as well as the children, instead of two people constantly trying to fit into this construct, right? and experiencing all the pain and torture of that, and that exuding into like into the upbringing of children. So sometimes, I guess the short point is, sometimes people can work together to get a common goal accomplished, but may need something bigger for or different for their life. And if you can still sometimes, if the environment to which the children are being brought up in, is it better for the kids to have both parents? Absolutely. But is it a requirement for those parents to be together? Maybe no, right? So, I mean, I don't know. That's everyone's personal beliefs, and am not going to judge here, but that is the example that came to me in a flash, and it has a lot to do with this Nine of Pentacles, Fools, Seven of Pentacles, Hierophant, and the Four of Pentacles. So, that is a challenging dynamic to think about in most scenarios, and I think that's what's being presented here. And how do we get to a space where maybe we understand that that's the case? Now, that could totally not be your scenario. This can apply in so many different ways in different people's lives. So for being as that may be a personal reading for someone. This could be a work and career dynamic for someone else, where maybe they're trying to, create their own business, and, they've been challenged with understanding how corporate businesses work. And really, the underlying is that they want to set out on their own to go ahead and to create something that they're building for them. But at the same time, like, it's hard to, they don't feel like they're at the point where they can let go of that stable structure in order to, maybe the business has been going, but we're still learning things as we go, and we're not able to let go of that, the comfort of a paycheck yet. But we're in the process of getting there, and we're reassessing maybe what it is that we feel that we need, right? Like, maybe we have enough to, in a career aspect, this would be someone who maybe has enough for the basic necessities, and to and a little bit to put into their savings, and a little bit to pump back into the business. But they're having to reassess whether that's enough, or whether whether it is time to let go of that paycheck, or whether they or whether that's enough for them, or whether they want to get to a point where they're actually living to the same level that they would with that paycheck and a little bit of the business, right? Money coming in. I don't know. Those are two very different scenarios that this talks about in just such a way. And that's why, general readings are general, but can have tremendous application in your life in very specific ways. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to say about this? Maybe we can give Cancer a little bit of information on this Two of Wands. I mean, there's a pull in me to kind of focus on where you are right now, but also I think that's going to be, it's kind of covered in what the advice from the universe is, right? So let's see where we're going, and if it's now that you've kind of had a moment to think about what this means for you, let's see where we're going and add a little bit to our projected outcome. Okay, so Two of Wands. What do you have for Cancer on the Two of Wands, please? It doesn't really want to tell me. Maybe because I used two such incredibly different examples. Okay. Two of Wands. Yeah. Okay, well, we know essentially trust yourself, right? That passion, that desire, that new path that you're going to take with the crossroads, right? With the crossroads, we can choose one. And that is so profound on so many levels. But it's going to be the one that speaks to you, that speaks to your passions, the one that you're excited about. And that is the route that you're going to be taking here. So trust yourself. I think that's why I didn't pull something on this, because, you know, it's really about in this change, right? What have we learned? And what does that say to us? And how does that speak to our soul so that we can propel ourselves forward into this new beginning? We've got a new beginning. You're excited for it. It's the other things that are kind of challenging in some respect. But ultimately, reassessing your values, that's going to give you that true spark of, you know, passion, that true spark of that ignition of your soul, and that'll tell you where to move next. Okay, Cancer, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me, and I hope to see you in the next reading. I will be doing a full moon reading coming up after I finish all the signs, and so if you would like to be here for that, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and notification. As always, mahalo.